place to sit.
Sir, I wasn't standing here. This is where I was when you came walking in the room. Could you calm down just a little bit?
Thank you. Glad you're here.
I am.
Really depressing losses. Yes, that was a. Yes. 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 And Mark.
Whoops, sorry.
Oh,
Good seeing you again. Yeah, I saw you all three of them. Meeting stuff.
What's your name?
I'm Kristie. County Clerk. Nice to meet you.
How are you? What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Did you have a particular challenge over the weekend, or you just had work stuff?
Yeah, I had so contact my dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's her goal. As long as she has a bud.
You got multiple copies of these? No.
Oh, fair enough. She seems to be.
Yeah, these are the actual power. Did you want the actual power?
Third party.
This is one of the ones.
Yeah, this block. A lot of problems underneath and washing back. Do you need the television?
Yes, sir.
We have the,
Oh, okay.
we have copies of, or we have copies, or
We
copies
can,
of
oh yeah,
presentations.
we'll stretch the board over and you can plug in.
Whichever one is easier.
Yeah.
We have
Well,
a flash drive. I have.
It's an HDMI.
Okay, I think you would have copies for it.
I'll let you get that hooked up here in just a second. We're in the same place, so we're gonna go ahead and open the meeting. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right.
Are you guys ready, or you guys?
No, I just waiting for you to get that hooked up.
Okay. And I don't know.
You have the floor.
We have hard copies if you guys.
I have mine. Yeah, these two.
Yeah, I'd like one if I could.
Okay. Do you have the one with the new editions?
No, I do not.
Okay.
That's the new edition?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I
Sorry.
watched this last Monday. Night.
Oh, and I have a fact sheet too.
Get those out of here a little bit.
You want it afterwards, or you want it? expansion from Holton North to K-20 in Brown County. The proposed project is a part of KDOT's transportation program, and Kate will take it from here.
So first off, what is IKE? This is a very general overview. IKE is KDOT's 10-year transportation program and a nearly $10 billion investment in future cases. The program aims to improve our highways, support economic growth, and create opportunities for its communities. You'll see some key figures on the right-hand side that the project delivered in its first 3 years. You can see $1.7 billion in preservation projects. This includes things like the resurfacing improvements that have recently been done on US 75, K-16, K-9, and several other roadways in Jackson County. But if you'll see on the highway expansion and modernization projects, there are currently 23 projects in the development pipeline. This is where the proposed US 75 expansion is today. Sam will explain a little bit about what that means.
So projects that you were given in the development pipeline, as Kate mentioned, this is where US 75 expansion project currently stands. So within the development pipeline, this is where projects are studied and designed. Some of these projects will be selected to move on to the construction pipeline, and this is based on readiness, relative need, and the budget. Not all projects under the development pipeline will make it to construction. KDOT does replenish the development pipeline every 2 years. This process just gives us the flexibility to adapt to the changing needs and revenue every 2 years instead of every 10 years like the previous transportation projects like T-Works. So this process is allowed through local consult, which is KDOT's public engagement process for IKE. Local consult does take place every 2 years just to get Kansas input on a variety of potential expansions and modernization projects within Kansas. So the local consult process does begin with a list of potential projects, some recommended by the community like US 75 and others by KDOT. The projects are then evaluated based on crash history, current projected traffic congestion, and economic impact. Again, US 75 expansion in Jackson County were one of these projects selected to move on from the local consult process. So with this next slide here, this is just a timeline in months of how a project moves from concept to open for use. This timeline represents here is not specific to this project, but it does represent a rough estimation about the number of months a project will spend in each phase. In total, this represents a little over 8 years. So projects can and do move faster or slower through this process, and then IKE projects are averaging about 6 years to move through this total process. So the first phase is concept and initial scope development. This is where the projects are identified and the starting scope is defined. So projects in this phase are those that KDOT presents at local consult. The next 2 phases are 4 projects that are selected for the IKE development pipeline, which is one of the outcomes of local consult. Projects in this stage undergo preliminary study and design, which is where public engagement starts to occur. As a project moves into the next phase, final development and design, the project becomes eligible to move on to the IKE construction pipeline. So once the project is selected for construction, it does not mean that construction starts tomorrow. Rather, it means that funding has been identified for the project, and this is a commitment to build the project. So currently, this project is in the preliminary study and design phase. So this doesn't mean that it won't happen, we just have to go through the process.
Yeah, and I think we do that from day one. That it was just getting it on somebody's radar.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, so now that the project is in the development pipeline, KDOT can begin the discovery phase. This is where we'll complete the preliminary engineering studies and analysis that will help develop design options and prepare the project for construction. Now again, there is currently no timeline for funding there's no timeline for funding of construction. While this project is in the discovery, KDOT is also looking at possible improvement opportunities in areas of US 75 and K9 and US 75 and K20. And so any updates updates regarding this proposed project will be posted here on the project website at the address shown here, or you can use this QR code for a direct link to the webpage. And our contact information is here, so if you have any questions or need any information, you're more than welcome to reach out to us anytime. So with that, we thank you again for having us, and we appreciate your guys' time.
Yeah, I do have one.
All right, Leroy, you're up. No, we brought Leroy here.
We'll see if we can handle it.
I was just curious, the communications, will it also go through the local KDOT office here? Will they be in contact with our folks here at Jackson County, or will it be state and them, as well as Jackson County KDOT office communicating with us what phase and how they're doing things? How does that work, the next level?
Typically, when projects are moved through, like when it was moved to the development pipeline, there was an announcement that KDOT made, and that goes out statewide. And generally, like I would be the one to then forward that on to the local media and such. I don't think it goes directly to the Holton office. The Holton KDOT office is one of our sub areas, so they're more on the maintenance side of things. So typically, it comes from KDOT headquarters.
And then goes to Horton possibly, the headquarters of Horton.
Horton is the
Area.
District 1
Yes.
area headquarters
Yes.
office.
Okay.
And then- Oh, go ahead, and I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, when we do start the public engagement process, if we have any public meetings, or if we create a stakeholders group or anything like that, we'll put you on the list, so you'll also get notifications of anything we present to the public, or anything like that too.
My question was, should we, as the years go by next year, continue to go to these consult meetings to try to continue to show support for that project as?
I mean, you're always more than welcome to come to the local council meetings. Since it's in the development pipeline, it's just a matter of time to get through the process, so coming won't necessarily speed things up or anything.
Okay.
So like I said, you are absolutely
Right,
welcome.
and they're really good meetings, they're very
Yeah.
informative,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
I appreciate
Yes.
the chance to be able to visit with some folks at those meetings. But yeah, just was curious if we need to continue to support this particular project over the years.
You're more than welcome to, but it won't, like I said, it
Won't
won't
affect
necessarily
it.
speed. Yes.
Okay.
So as far as the, it's in the development pipeline right now, and I've had several conversations with people in the county about, especially in the northern part of the county, with the 2-lane, about what we need for looking forward. And one of the biggest things that I have heard is on the medians, they need to be wide enough to, on at least the major roads coming off, they need to be wide enough to accommodate one semi at least being stacked up in the median.
Because
And
of farm.
Because of farm, and school buses, there's, down here to the south, some of them aren't even wide enough to get a school bus, the longer ones off the road, they're still sticking out the roadway.
So that's a great point. That's one of the reasons we did a resolution down at 142 road. So when you go south, 142 goes to a rock quarry, you have a lot of truck traffic comes out of there. Because that doesn't accommodate tractor trailer, we made a resolution requiring all trucks to go north to the overpass that KDOT built over and then make their turn if they're going back south. So for the farming community, especially in the fall with beans and corn are coming out, it would be very important to at least get input from the community on what routes those trucks could funnel to come out on the highway and then make a turn. We're not saying every intersection.
No.
And the other thing, but keep working that.
Nebraska's building down, they're down
Yes.
south of Plattsmouth right now, we're
Yeah.
just up there, you were up there too.
Yeah.
And, they're coming down, and I just assume, we both meet in the middle and get ready to go, so.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you for coming out and taking the time.
Thanks so much, appreciate it.
Yes.
If I could, add
Yes,
a
sir.
finer point on that, so we're in the process now of procuring this consultant firm to do the discovery phase.
Okay.
We'll send out an RFP, and, regular process of procurement there to find someone to do the initial discovery, as Kate and Samantha have already suggested, where we're at now. And so they'll vet what's reasonable and feasible. And
Sure.
to the keywords we use. We've got questions already from people who live along the corridor. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna build a shed, and, well, I wish we had that crystal ball and knew exactly what we were gonna build.
Yeah.
That process evolves as we do the discovery phase, and when some initial concepts are on paper, as they mentioned as well, there'll be an engagement process here where we'll have, community will have opportunity to come and we'll present where we're kind of at initially with the design phase. And we use that kind of to vet with the local stakeholders on, what do you guys think of this?
Sure. Well, and that's what,
There's a bunch of outcry over a particular intersection, then that's an
Yeah.
opportunity for us to step back and tweak that or find some different design option.
well, that's just like if you look, if you study this and look at it coming down out of Holton to the north, with the businesses that are along there, the homes that are along there, the towers that are along there, so on and so forth. If you actually look at that from a common sense standpoint, I guess, it wouldn't make sense to come out of there and go back with a 4-lane clear up to the first mile. Because there's just, you got the industrial park down there, you have the city industrial park, you have several other things. It makes more sense to look at that as a Super 2 with right-hand turning lanes and a center lane for turning, because there's, in my opinion, there's just not enough room, and I know cost-wise, you guys don't want to go in and buy out everything along there.
Yeah.
So, that's just something that has been brought up, and we've talked about it here also. So it's just, I now want to share that at the community meetings, because I think that'd be the way to do it, so. All right.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
You guys have a lot more meetings across the state, or?
So far, I'm just.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
But if you do have any other comments you want to vet for, that's local concepts for that too.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
guess, what are we wanting to put them on other pieces of equipment that doesn't have it, like trucks and other?
That would be the idea, that we have some dump trucks and then of course we have other things other than John Deere.
Sure, well, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, and so is that adaptable to other equipment?
It is,
Okay.
it's going to give you your hours of use, it's going to give you location. We can set it up to where, you know, you can monitor, service intervals and stuff like that that's due for that. But as far as getting into, let's say, codes and if there's a problem with the actual vehicle, it's not going to be compatible.
On anything other than John Deere?
Correct.
So Mark, did you have questions specifically?
Yeah, so, with this, when you say you can set it up to monitor, is this already on there and no cost to do that right now?
On our Deere equipment, yeah.
Yes, okay. What exactly will this monitor, because we are kind of looking at the reason we're looking into this, number one, is for a safety factor.
Sure.
For our operators.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, you get a blade operator out there and he's been sitting for a while and he has to get out of the cab and take a step off and boom, down he goes, so he's laying there for 3 hours bleeding out.
Right.
We're looking at that more as a safety factor for that. And I think that we can probably get a break on our insurance with this also, you know, by using it for safety. And what I was wondering was, the system that we are testing, the third-party system that we are testing on our equipment right now, is a interactive system as far as, if I understand it correctly, we can download into the program and it will automatically generate the times that they were on the road and things like this. Does the Deere system do this? Am I stating that correctly, Scott?
Well, what we're looking at is, right now our guys write out a time card and turn it in. And you have 30 people turning time cards, so we've got an individual in there for 3 or 4 hours, they type in the information in. We're looking at a system that they can type it into a tablet or their phone, and it'll download right to our system and eliminate that 3 or 4 hours a day of typing.
So what it'll do, basically, the most basic level of it, it's only gonna record hours on the equipment or miles, whether it's on a truck or a piece of equipment. So like on the John Deere equipment, it's pulling all the data off of that piece of equipment, hours, location, fuel burn, like very detailed information. Now, if we put a JD Link module on, say, a cat motor grader or a dump truck, it's gonna pull hours, location, and not a lot more than that, because it doesn't have the capability. You know, Caterpillar's not going to give us the ability to pull that. Kenworth or Peterbilt or somebody's not going to do that. As far as timekeeping, it's going to give you hours operated, and that's about it. So if you're looking for true timekeeping, I don't know if there's going to be some gray area, you know, it's going to probably cost some issues.
Yeah, and it's on by key on, so I mean, it takes them, you know, let's say they get in there and listen to the radio and the truck's not running, it's still going to calculate hours as it's going. So while it's giving you a sense of the hours, it could be a falsified, you know, later on down the road as they pile up, you know.
Right. And we're not going to blow smoke, like we're not going to sit here and try to sell you something you don't need, because what happens over time, we've found out, is like those 3-wire systems that plug in and pull hours and locations off of them, they're, like you said, they're running off key on power. So, I mean, this is a little extreme, but every time that operator turns the key on and waits a few seconds or a minute, or he turns the key on and then gets on his phone or whatever, that time is accumulating on there and that engine is not running. So you have to take that into factor too. So over 10 years time, the actual hours on the machine, if you started at 0 hours, that machine may have 5,000 hours on it, but in here it may show that it's got 5,002 hours. Yeah, whatever. I mean, it could be as extreme as you want. So like if somebody were in there working on that machine and they got the key on to get power to something, so they got accessories, it's logging time.
Sure.
Now, that's on those systems that are on non-Deere branded equipment. The Deere branded stuff, it's more accurate because it's actually reading engine hours, not key on hours.
I guess what I was looking at too is I want to make sure that if we've we've already got the capabilities to do something that, you know, we're not looking at purchasing something possibly that's gonna be a redundant system for something we've already got, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's systems out there that will, I mean, most of them that I know about, like, I can't think of the name of one of them now. There was one that I had used at a prior employer, and then I know some people that use NextEra, things like that. They are similar, they all operate similarly. It just depends on what the manufacturer is gonna allow you to pull off of that ECM, and what they can.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us, one of the biggest things, safety was at the top of that, but the other thing is, we get a lot of complaints that, okay, blade hasn't been down my road in 3 months. So the ability to go back, look at that information and say, okay, this machine went past that house, full RPM, at 3 miles an hour, more than likely the blade was down. We know it was on this date and this date or whatever.
That for sure is true, it would work. That works, because I've had other counties and townships and stuff ask the same question, because they suspected that maybe the guy wasn't actually starting when he said he was starting stuff. And
Well, and not even that, it's the other side of this, that the public may not be home when they did, or they may not realize it, and, you know.
it would eliminate any doubt as far as that goes, yeah. And they will do that.
Yeah,
So,
to a certain extent.
yeah, and it'll leave like you can go in there and it'll leave like a breadcrumb trail, and you can adjust that time for that day or that week or that month or the whole year. So you can.
So this
pull it
blade
down.
right here,
Yeah, that's where that machine has traveled. Now that diagonal line across there, there's probably a gap in cell service in there.
Okay.
So it probably pinged at one point here, and then pinged again up there, because there's obviously not a road there. So there is, depending on cell service, things like that, if you're in a really bad area, it's gonna skip till it gets up on the hill and can report it again. As far as the safety thing goes, like you were saying, I mean, that, you're gonna be able to see if that machine is operating. I mean, at a certain point, you almost need that operator to check in every so often, because I mean, if they truly did step out and fall and hit their head, you're really not gonna know that, because there's not cameras on the machine, or, you know what I mean, it's.
Sure.
you just know that it's not been moved.
If I lose, does it come up with a warning saying that, hey, this machine's set idle for 30 minutes?
No, there's auto
Set.
shutdowns on the machines that you can go in and set that you set for, say, 5 minutes. If that machine idles for 5 minutes, it will shut off.
I think you can even set alerts.
The high idle, on the idle,
So this one that we're testing right now, we've had some come in that, you know, this truck is set idle at this point, it has a address and everything, it's set there for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
So that's gonna be the trick. That's gonna be the trouble you're gonna have. Say, if we're talking about trucks, I don't think that we are gonna be able to pull that specific of information off of it with this, because the manufacturer of that truck and John Deere aren't gonna cooperate enough to make that happen. Now, those third-party companies have that capability where they can pull some of that, and I'm just speculating that they can, I don't know that for sure. Now, unless you could get something from Kenworth or Peterbilt or Mack or somebody that can do that. I don't.
Yeah, the other, I think Scott, you can explain the other issue, or not issue, but big money saving things. The operators will be able to put in their time on their phone and not, or their hours where they've been, so that we don't have an individual that's having to manually do that. That's taking up anywhere from 2-3 hours a day, just in that process. Yeah, it's a lot of time. And so if this process can save hours, that would be great.
Yeah, so like we can pull reports off of here, I mean, we can pull maintenance reports, fuel utilization, things like that. You could probably glean some information like that out of there. But as far as specifically being able to fill out a time card or something like that, I don't know that it's gonna be able to do that.
Yeah. Any other questions, gentlemen? Yeah, I think it's basically what we're hearing is that using a third party to do this is going to be the way to go, because it's going to cover everything that we wanted to do.
Yeah, if they have that capability, I would say that's probably gonna be the best bet. Like this system will do a ton of the stuff, will give you a ton of information, but I don't know specifically about the timekeeping stuff and that kind of stuff.
And explain how, like, if that machine's sold and goes to Bolivia for some
Well,
reason.
I just had something like that. I looked at this
Why does
Thursday
that-
or Friday,
Yeah.
and you guys had a machine that was sold on auction, and ended up down in Mexico.
Okay.
And so I had it removed, but I was half tempted to leave it on there so you guys could see that it was down there.
Well, that's what we were told, that's one of the reasons this conversation came up, is
Yeah.
what capabilities, you know, this actually had, so.
So on a piece of equipment like that, if you guys were to sell that piece of equipment, one, it would be handy if you let us know, like say, hey, we auction this, whatever off.
Sure.
Let us know, we can go in and take it off the registration, you know, unregister it to your guys' account. The other thing that happens is, if that machine got bought by, say, someone here in the States, and they went to their local dealer and had them register the JD Link to them, that would take it off of your account, put it on their account, so then it would fall off of your deal here. Otherwise, we just email one of our guys, we got a JD Link guy that does this all the time. He just
Okay.
click a few
That's
buttons
good
and
enough.
it goes, yeah.
Because we haven't done that.
Yeah.
We washed them out, probably what, 4 or 5 machines in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just let us know, let Steve know or whatever, and we can get them to take it off.
And we every now and again, we get on there and we see something that's 9,000 miles away, I'm pretty sure that's not where we're gonna be, you know.
One thing that, I mean, so NPL, for example, they have thousands and thousands of pieces of gear equipment, and they all have JD Link on them across the whole United States. They get a lot of equipment stolen on job sites, and they have found them through here on that too. Not that you guys have a theft issue with equipment, but that helps too. Yeah, and we offer it, and third-party companies offer it too. They have little battery-powered tractors that they slap in the frame rail of a equipment trailer and things like that, and because that stuff comes up missing once in a while.
So one good thing is if you were to think about doing something like this, it's a one-time cost. It's not a monthly subscription or anything like that. I'm not gonna, I don't wanna throw out a number at you because I could be wrong.
Sure.
Especially if you was like, you know what, we're gonna try it or whatever, how many pieces of equipment, that, if you give us how many vehicles or pieces of equipment's gonna go on, I can go back to my boss and say, hey, look, they've got 30 or 40 pieces that they're wanting to do, what can we do, what can we, you know, we could probably get something from here and get it knocked down.
The other thing too to keep in mind for the people that are gonna be using something like this, say, if we did something like this is a one-stop dashboard to go to, on everything. So if you were to put JD Link on trucks, non-deer equipment, things like that, it would all be on this one dashboard. You wouldn't have to go to 2 or 3 different pages to be able to see everything. It'll all be on this map, and you'll be able to see everything on one.
Okay.
So that's just kind of a convenience.
One question, just
Sure.
techie portion of it. How much of a time lag are we actually seeing here between what's actually happening here, like 15 minutes?
This is today. This is just
Live.
today, right now, yeah.
Okay.
See, and it's got the green play button on it that he's running right now. It's working.
Sure.
How fast is he running and what?
Well, it looks like you just turned around as soon as
He
that
did
back.
So you
just
can-
turn around, yeah.
Yeah, you can pull that information
That would
and see.
be, Josh.
Okay. I can't see.
And like I say, I was just curious,
Yeah,
the time
it's kinda
frame
hard to see on there,
between
yeah.
what it's doing, you know, actual time.
No, it's got, I'll bring it, it'll come back up here.
Yeah.
I just went to a different page.
It's not really that important, like I say, it's just kind of.
But you can see, I mean, you can actually go in and drill down to, and like I said, this is just for today, right now.
Yep.
You know, everything from 6-wheel drive to auto shift, whether he's using blade flip or not, diff lock. He hasn't used diff lock all day. I mean, not that he needs to, but it fuel rate.
And you can go back to however far.
And see what, okay.
Yeah, you can change the date and all that. Somewhere in here. Yeah, that buddy's got 12,000 miles on it if you're curious. Time in gear, so like right there, it's telling you he's spending most of his time in fourth, which most blade operators run in third, fourth gear, and that's pretty common,
Okay,
things like that. So yeah, if you had an issue with operator, a newer operator or something, and he was having trouble, you could go in and see how he's running that machine without having to stand there and watch him too. So.
Okay.
Rear axle oil and temperature.
Yep.
Yeah, it tells temperatures and.
Can you put that little machine back up? I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what it looks like. I'll be darned.
Yeah, so grader will look like grader,
Yeah.
loaders look like loader,
Yeah.
excavator, yeah.
I couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But-
there's some more equipment around the county there that, feel like this one's running, this one, according to this one shows that it's sitting idle, or sitting still, not running. Backhoe, loader, track loader.
Where the at county?
the track loader's out in W,
W.
up by Jackson Steve Chermok.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's where that is.
That's what it's showing.
Pardon?
It's at the road bridge yard.
It's a road and bridge yard now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's, I didn't see it come back. I must have been busy in my job.
All right, anything else, on that topic? I don't
Yeah,
have any.
thank you, I appreciate the.
Yeah, just get ahold of us
Appreciate
if you think you wanna explore that anymore, or anything like that, we can bring you the prices and stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
We're more curious what you guys are looking for, what kind of information you want to get out, so.
Yeah, and I think, I do Frank, the real information is, part of the big part is our office staff being able to get that, download that information.
Yeah.
And saves, those hours are very important when you only have one employee doing that job, so I think that's gonna play a big part in our decision.
Yeah.
So,
And
would you agree, Scott?
Linda used to do that.
I definitely.
Linda
would,
used to
yeah.
do that job, so.
Yes, if you can, I mean, that's the main thing, if you can break it down and put it in, and all you have to do is maybe do some sort of download document, that
That's
would
all
be
you
a
need.
true time saver.
You're gonna be able to pull the hours operated right off here. I mean, it's gonna tell you that that motor grader ran for 7.5 hours today. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's all that got worked.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
I mean.
So describe, Linda, what information you were putting in.
Okay, so we start with, what type of work we're doing, so it'd be grading.
Mhm.
And then how many hours, and then if, so it'd be an 8-hour day for most people unless, something is, let's say leftover or whatever. And then you would put in, their machine number, which that sounds like that would kind of automatically be in. And then how many hours that was physically run, 7, 8, 9, whatever. And then, cause like winter time, they're
Sure.
usually 9, 9.5 or whatever. And then you put in the locations. So, R 214, 222, and then they also did S to this, 220.
You would still kind of need something from that operator to tell you, because I mean, you can download the map, I mean, or you could see where they ran today, just for example, that grader there. If you look at that breadcrumb trail, that green line on there all day, I mean, it may expand, obviously, if it goes farther and farther throughout the day.
Right.
You could take a snapshot of that for that day. You just have to look at the roads to see what road they worked. Which I can't even read that because it's so small, but anyway, it's not gonna tell you, like, if you're wanting to pull a report, it's gonna give you the machine hours, like I said. So if
Right.
it ran 7.5 hours in this area, that for sure you'll have. But like I said, if he had another 30 minutes of fueling up and greasing the machine and checking
Right,
it over and doing the daily
exactly.
inspections, that's where, I don't know where you're gonna get that from except from the
So,
operator.
could it be that there's a possibility that there could be a balance between whatever we already have as John Deere, we just wouldn't need to purchase additional GPS for those, we could use what we have and activate what we currently have on John Deere equipment, but those dump trucks and the cat equipment, we would purchase something to run on that. That would just mean two different.
It'll all do, that's the thing, is it'll all do the same thing for those, it's gonna give you hours and locations. It's just, on those, it's not gonna be as detailed as this.
Yeah.
But it'll tell you how many hours that machine was
And
keeping.
it'll give you the trail and everything.
Yeah, it'll show you where.
Okay.
Okay.
So, the information's there, I just don't know how accurate you want it to be, you know what I mean, like,
Right.
if I'm a blade operator and I work 8 hours a day, I'm only running a blade 7.5 or whatever, because I do a daily check and
Right.
check the oil and everything in the morning and stop for lunch and eat a sandwich or whatever, it's not gonna record that time.
Sure.
So just keep that in mind.
We'll continue to have conversation on it and figure out what, that may be the way to go. At least maybe the information that you would need back would be, if we were gonna use all John Deere equipment on everything, what would that cost look like? So if you were gonna supply a device to plug into everything,
Yep.
if you could give a per piece
Yeah.
price
We can
on
do
that, if that's not too much trouble.
No, we can do that, and we can even break it down in, you know, let's say it'd be this much for 10 pieces and this much for 20 or 30 or whatever. I mean, I don't know how many pieces of equipment, in ballpark are you looking to add it to?
We have 10 more.
Trucks and.
About 24.
That excludes the John Deere equipment that we currently already have.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
11 graders, I think we got 4 John Deere's left. Graders. And then,
We could work out
four
that.
semis and
Price.
7 bus trucks.
Sure. Just say 24.
Wouldn't hurt to at least explore what the cost of it is and get it back to
Yes.
Scott.
Yeah, just kind of rough guesstimate, that's, I guess what we're looking for.
Well, yeah, that was the thing, I mean, is, you know, right now, we can tell you what it would cost per individual, but I think if we go back to the Deere or whoever and be like, hey, they're looking at doing 20 or 24 pieces, that gives us way more leverage to
Sure.
go, hey, let's do a rebate of some sort, and I know it's happened in the past, I just don't know what that would be right at this moment, I don't wanna
Some of
just
that-
throw a number out.
Yeah,
and
no, I understand that, yes.
Some of that will play into labor time too, to install that also, you know, we've done it with other counties where they wanted to add it to 10 pieces, and we worked it out where we can schedule them to go out to their shop or wherever and put 5 of them on that day, and then go back out again and do another 5, where we didn't have travel time back and forth and all that extra labor, that'll cut down on that cost quite a bit.
Right.
Can you give us an example of other counties that we could talk to that this is in place right now?
Well, we're working with Jackson County.
Okay.
With Joe up there on adding some, theirs has been a little more slow going, trying to get them to release some equipment. I'm trying to think who else has equipment that's non-Deere or trucks. They have other contractors that have it on stuff. NPL and R.D. Johnson, some those kind of companies have it on some non-Deere equipment, you know, and like I said, they use this dashboard for most of their equipment, so.
Okay.
We have good correspondence with all the counties around this, and
Yeah.
Atchison in
I was
particular
thinking,
as well.
Coffee County had some too, but I can't. I have to look at their.
Yeah, I'm not sure
It's been
either.
quite a while.
I know Jefferson, they got all, I think they got Deere anyhow, so I don't know.
Okay.
Don't they also, on their Jefferson County, don't they have a GPS system that helps them with their blade adjustments and everything? I thought one of the great operators.
So they have, they run crossload on their machines, and that's an integrated deal into the Deere blade. That's not really anything to do with this.
Okay, so.
But yeah, Morris County is another one that's a good example of that. Kip down there running that one Deere blade they have, he runs crossload every day. And basically over the last couple of years, they've used that to build the crown back up in the roads, and then it maintains the crown so they're not guessing on anything. And he puts a.
I saw that in place, years ago. I grew up east of here, close to all county lines, so. But it's separate.
And that's standard equipment on Deere blades now, that's not
Okay.
something you add on, it's already in there. And it's a matter of a couple hours of training with an operator, if they're not already familiar with it, it's pretty easy to show them how to run it.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you
All right,
coming out and making the
Appreciate
trip up
it.
there.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So if you got any questions?
Okay.
Yeah.
versus the other GPS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, just to the chair, I'm sorry, I was gonna mention, we do have just the phone hearing, I gotta go to 10 o'clock. So just-
Okay.
So that if I
So you'll
run out, yeah.
It's, we're on
Don't
different
look
time.
that long.
Hang on,
We're on
I'm
Mountain
doing
Time.
here.
So yeah, 15 minutes, in about 50 minutes ago, just next door,
Okay.
make a call.
Thank you.
Hopefully it'll be 5-10 minutes and
Okay.
Don't look at the clock on the wall.
Yeah. Mountain time.
I'll tell the judge that. You guys, your clock's.
Right. All right. All right.
We found a replacement for Terra out there.
Hmm.
So offered the job to her, she
Okay.
accepted. Starting, 7th.
For training.
Got 2 bids for some culvert pipe that we sent out. This one was via email, so I'll see.
2 bids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told Matt, whenever he should get us the list that we have to have to finish the year out. But it looks to me like this bid that come in is for like a whole semi-load, not just, you know.
Not what you need.
It's more, he says it would get us through part of next year. So I'd rather look at just what's gonna get us through this year to get a new budget
Yeah.
going, so. Again, I don't know how this bid came in on this other one.
Just need to compare them, make sure numbers are.
Yeah.
If you guys would.
Yeah.
Take a look at them there.
Okay. $15,092.06 versus
$16,299.40
and who is that?
from Contech Engineering.
Yeah, for the items selected.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's apples to apples.
Okay.
So I'll make a move that we.
Well, hang on,
Oh, sorry.
Where do we do that?
You wanted to do, you wanna go back and tell them, we want this to get us through to the end of the year, correct? Not,
I would rather do that.
yeah,
than the whole big
I'd rather have
lump
that.
sum.
Okay.
But something too, we've dealt with in the past, the contact tubes we get and the bands are better than what we get from Welton. Because
So it is this one that you like better?
Contact,
Yeah.
because you don't spend as much labor putting these bands on.
Okay.
And they don't finish their edges, so there's a greater possibility that the people using them cut themselves on the
Right.
sides of the tube.
So how about this? We'll
For
table
safety
this,
reasons.
Okay.
we'll table this, give those back, and then he can, reach out to them and get the numbers on exactly
Just
what
what
you
you
need. And
Yeah.
then bring that back next week and we'll make a decision on that. If it's close, but again, if it saves time, that's money, so
Yeah.
we'll probably go with the other bid.
Okay. We've got a Douglas Putnam.
Doug, yeah?
Says their family purchased, or paid to have the, portion of their road chip and sealed years ago, and so that was done, and then,
42 and W more, I could see struggling with that right there.
142 and what?
Or 142, west of 75
Correct.
highway, I'm
Right.
sorry.
Right,
It threw
that
me
was-
off there too, because
I'm sorry.
I know where he lives, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they paid for a stretch going past their house.
House,
yeah.
and they want us to chip and seal it, or
But
every
we
year.
have nowhere on our list to do it, so if getting to do this, it sounds like we are, it'd be next year before we get it on the rotation. Potholes, we've got, but the old patch in it now, just to take care of potholes, chip and seal done for the year.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at with
But
that.
they did say there was a very, I haven't been out there to look at it yet, because I ain't waiting until Friday. They say there's a very large one in the states section of it too, so I'll have to contact them as well.
And so, okay, and so if you weren't aware of it, you don't have a list, it's not in the rotation is what you're saying, right? So, I guess I would like a little research done prior to, I'm fine with patching the hole, because obviously it needs to be patched. But as far as what the agreement was with the prior commissioner, prior years, what that agreement was, how that was gonna be taken care of and maintained. Let's make sure that we're checking that if it was to be maintained by the families that they put it in, or if once they put it in, the county was to be maintaining it. We may want to look at maybe having somebody run out and just do that if it's warm enough yet this year. If we have a responsibility to do that.
Yeah, I'd like to see the, resolution or
The
the agreement
agreement.
or whatever, to make sure just what our responsibility is.
You know, that-
I did talk to two of the people who've been here,
Well,
quite a few years, and they said that yes, we have done it in the past. And so that
Okay.
makes me believe there's gotta be something out there.
Yeah, I just like to put eyes on it and
Yes.
double check and make sure.
I agree.
Okay.
But, yeah,
but
first
let's at least
responders-
just go ahead and get it patched.
Yeah, let's get it
Yeah,
patched.
right.
Right.
If there's potholes out there, go and get it patched.
And call Steve and
Yep.
see about getting the state signed down too.
And that was 142, right?
142 west of Highway 70.
Do we ever work together with Steve on KDOT stuff? So
Yes.
if they wanted to offset the cost with us, if we're gonna be down there doing it, you might run that past him and just say, hey, if you don't have time, we've got a load of patch coming, we'll handle that, or thoughts? You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, we might run that past him and just see if he,
May take a longer cost than $45,000.
Yes,
Okay, Jade out here digging some holes for this, land dredging, deal that we do,
Sure.
after doing that. Okay. We had a little deal last week down on K Road here, where we talked about how much gravel and haul in there. First we said, make the road 20 foot, and then we were reminded that that's an FAS route, and it is 26 feet. So, coming from the state, and from our little book that we did, state doesn't really say there's a preference if you go from 10 to 12 foot per lane. Our guidance book that we accepted here,
You're talking about from 110 to 106, or are you talking about different?
94, K Road, 94.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what,
110.
110.
Well, we go past that. But anyway, there's that from KDHE. And here's our guidance book. And you see a little chart over the side. Our operator's going by the ag side of it at 45 miles an hour. So he said that he wants to make this road 26 feet. I would rather see it at the 24 because if you read the little note down below, the little chart, it says including, the 26 foot includes the shoulder. And according to KDHE, the shoulder for that width of road should be 1 foot to 6 foot on the shoulder. So if we go 24 foot of rock, and then a foot on each side for the shoulder, that gets you to your 26 feet. I think our operator's reading that as rock out 26 feet. And to me, over a couple miles, that 2 foot wide road is a lot of rock that we're wasting to me. So, just, thoughts on your side?
I'm sorry?
Thoughts on your all side?
That's what you wanna do, it's 24.
Yeah, so I don't know how you guys wanna handle that.
And then make it, I think,
24 foot of roadway, but not gravel all the way out to the 24 foot. Is that what you're saying?
Roadway would be 20. Gravel would be 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on that road, I think that road needs to be, I mean, as much traffic as that brings from the Dealey area and, south, and especially during harvest. I mean, that road gets pounded during harvest, because that's the main connector going, a lot of guys go south. I think it needs to be the same width all the way through, I don't think we skip there.
Right, but again, I'd like to go to 24 feet, not 26. Like I said, the price of rock right now is just unreal.
Yeah, because actually, if you go to the 26, then a foot of, then you're at a 28 foot road rather than, so yeah, I'd say the 24 with the foot on each side is perfect.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'd also pointed out, our guideline book is, according to the one operator, that's the Bible, and that's what we go by. It's a guidance book that we try to follow.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Alright.
it's unusual, just one or two things.
Yeah, well,
Wait,
got a lot of stuff going on.
I
Yeah.
don't either, we rocked I-6, 254 to 258 last week, I-262 to 270, and we are working on K-94 to 106 last week. We are working on the whole thing this week. We had 0 services, 1 tube replacement, and 3 washes, and then this,
It's video.
I didn't have to do it, yes, the tube wash, so I'll share that with you. Okay, and then this week, we're gonna just strictly work on K-94 to 110, 2 services, 1 tube replacement, 4 tube cleanings, and that's really all I got.
So, on the 94th, 106, is Richard out on his roads today, or is he back down there?
He's there, we've been there, that's the only spot he's at.
Okay.
It's the only place he's been, except for 94, where he's graded down the dirt that we pulled off. I mean, he's been there for 2 or 3 months now.
Yeah, and I drove some roads and it's showing.
I'm sure it is.
And so how do we find a balance between getting that project done, and getting back over on some roads and addressing some issues?
Well, then I'll have to call an operator in and have them go around and work on some of those roads.
You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, I definitely follow what you're saying, and I'll be honest, I've noticed it too. I thought we'd be moving along, but it's been a very slow process.
And I think there's, from some of my constituents that I've talked to, they've been calling in, and leaving messages or letting me know that some roads, I think it's, the road goes past, Hubers down there, or Hubers is, goes to it's a T intersection of 94. C Road?
Seaver?
No, that's not correct. I'll get the correct. It's got some serious wash secondary ditches along the edge of the road. I rode around with some guy for an hour and a half the other night. He was showing me some stuff. And so, if there's a way that we can find a balance, getting Richard either back off that road or staying on the project and bringing somebody else down. If you bring somebody else down, it may require you going down and giving him some guidance and saying, here's where we need to go and touch up some of these spots. I know that blading the entire road is not a good idea as dry as it's been, but there's some pretty deep potholes out there that we looked at, and that's those secondary ditches have been there for a long time. So maybe getting those bladed shut, take a look at that in Richard's area if he's not involved.
Okay.
Okay.
But you don't have any guidance for me?
I'll go back and look. I have it in my notes. I think I can
Okay.
find where I made it last week. And I'll get you the.
You get something good.
I love it. That's great.
Okay.
Your operator for the mower, is that, do we have any movement on that?
We did talk to him the other day.
Okay.
It was a write-up done, had a serious conversation with him.
Very serious.
He's come around. We also have a part-time operator that we talked to about hiring for this moment also.
Okay.
And road memberships.
The problem with that is that's not in, if somebody's gonna retire, great, we have a position to fill. But I think at this point, hiring somebody through the end of the year would be tough, budget-wise. I think we have to pay the budget should already be there for this person.
Yes.
Okay.
Because Peyton worked only a short time, the budget was there for part-time mower for the whole season, usually two.
Okay.
And so Peyton only did it for what, a month?
And
And then went down to HHW.
okay.
So the
This
budget
would be replacing, it would
Okay.
still use the same budgeted money.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanna make sure that, all right.
And I wanna make sure that Kristie looks and make sure that everything is gonna be kosher on that as far as we have the budgeted money to do it.
Right, and then you have an individual that you want to promote in maintenance in the shop.
Maybe it's my voice.
We're just in the,
No, we talked to, Josh, it's the three guys that got their CDLs.
Yep.
Josh, we promoted a while back because he was trying to get a CDL and he was running graders, we bumped him to level 3. So we discussed that with him, I said, I kinda got the limit because we've given you a raise already, but these other two guys that have their CDLs now, I would like to, bump them up a little bit, because of them successfully getting that. And I said, well, I can't really justify bumping you up, because then you'll be making more than what some of these operators have been grading for years and truck driving for years, and you've got more experience. So he said he understood that, and he was fine with it, so yes, I would like to,
at some point,
yes.
but just not right now.
But
Yeah, I think we need to make sure that the funding's there to promote, so.
yeah, we can do that.
Okay. All right, that's all I think we have, gentlemen.
Then
Anything else?
I
Can't
did,
think of anything.
they did come out and get the pictures of the grader the other day, that we're gonna auction off, and discussed, he was talking about October sometime, and he said, I was asking him, I said, well, how's auctions going right now with the election? They're a little slow. I said, well, why don't we wait till after the election? So it's gonna be sometime in November with the auction.
They can bring more money.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people just don't spend before the elections.
Right.
They don't know what's gonna happen.
What auction service?
Auction time.
Auction.
Auction.
One through
Okay.
the past year.
Okay. There's starting to be quite a few of them,
Oh, yeah.
you know, popping up, very popular industry.
Mark, you had asked me about 278 CP, we did read that, for the phone lines and stuff.
Yes.
We did cut it, even still, whatever, the road is graded,
Perfect.
so,
And you called them and gave them the opportunity to move their line and do whatever they need to do?
yes,
because
and
we
they
were
said,
gonna
oh,
grade
be
them out.
right over, and so I went around and started marking it, you know, where I see it on the side of the road,
Okay.
and so, he did dig something out of the road and moved it over to the side and marked where it come out and come back in, and so.
Okay, perfect.
Anyway, so they should be able to go down that road now. I think you guys have last.
Just Z Road, going south of Larkhammer, on a case.
Ethan is working on that this morning.
Okay.
I guess there was quite a mud hole over mud hole spot there, and so, anyway, this is what it looked like this morning, if you can see. And so I have, someone going with Rob to work on that,
Oh, yeah.
so,
The family, the Cook family called me.
yes.
They actually live in Atchison County, but they come out, their link goes into Jackson County. That's kind of it's a T. It comes to a T where they live. Jefferson County here, Jackson, and it's like 3 counties coming together. So, but, yeah.
So he is working on that. I don't think you had anything last week, Keith, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
Just waiting on your list from,
04 Road, going south from 110, goes past Dale and Debbie Bausch, their son. That's the road that either been brought to me, and so if you just want to take a look at it, give me your thoughts on it, what needs to be done. It's really a good road, it just needs some attention. I mean, it's got some areas where drainage isn't getting off, but I think the secondary ditches can possibly be taken care of pretty easy, and it appears to me that maybe a spear fire blade would work better, you know, than,
okay.
you know, because there's grass on the side of the road, and that typically allows, what is that?
It's fine.
Oh,
Not me.
I turned my phone back on.
Okay,
Okay.
so, yeah, if you just wanna take a look at it,
Okay.
and again,
All right.
just, you know, throw it into the mix, I know how busy you guys are, but, I think that would, give them some hope that somebody's listening.
Look,
And would you verify that he did follow Dale Valley?
okay, well,
I asked him to, because I think it's better if the public calls in.
yes.
Gives that
I
information.
always try to encourage that with
Yeah, but just,
everybody.
just throw a set of eyes on it, see what you see,
Okay.
and go from there.
Okay, setting.
That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Have a great week. Found out we have to have another test. So, to rule out another situation, basically. I think you brought up to the practice is what, yeah. Yeah, yeah. But, okay, 2 things ruled out, 1 more to go.
Do we have any changes in the handbook?
Yeah.
We're having a meeting
Still have.
tomorrow that we could, or do you have those ready yet?
Todd would be the one that had that, and we'll see if he's got those leaders. He had to make a phone call, he had a court
The,
session.
the changes in the handbook, because we were gonna do the.
Right, he's gonna have it.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was making
Cause I've already asked Lee about that,
Yeah.
and, yes, and then the more the number.
You'll have to visit with,
I reached out to her this morning,
to, yeah, she's out of town. I think she was on vacation through Tuesday. And so, we'll check with Todd when he gets back in here. But I believe that what we talked about last week will stand.
Is this a lunch tomorrow?
Yes.
You didn't bring anything?
no,
No, they're
fine.
bringing everything.
Appetite? Oh, okay.
Are we supposed to sign this?
No. Go ahead.
No. I didn't know what was.
And then we can.
And what was given?
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Linda. Have a good day.
This was from Aric. And he's,
This is for us to move VSP and,
what,
vision insurance.
How do we?
Answer to issues this morning. All that. This
separate,
is,
no.
yeah.
Do the public hearing
I'm sorry?
Do you normally have a public comment period at all?
You have to get on the agenda usually. You have to get on the agenda.
You have to get on the agenda ahead
Usually.
of time?
He's asking about.
Really?
It all depends
Right,
It all
appropriation.
So he's asking about
if
that.
you're talking about
And
things you want to hear.
that will be.
Gotcha.
Take action on it. Okay. All right, thank you.
No, I thought they were, I was told they had an open period that they usually talk for. Okay. My misunderstanding.
No, I can put it on the agenda, sure. You wanna do,
Just 5 minutes or so. Be fine.
should take her.
That'd be great.
It's like,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Keith, I just added him to the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
How was your weekend, Miss Elsie?
We took it to see this one to celebrate some birthdays.
How many?
I got 89 bucks.
Wow.
That was pretty high
I'm
for me.
impressed.
Connie, she got like a couple hundred, but she's more of like a,
See, I'm not a spender.
yeah, I'm like, she's, so yeah, I'm not really. Well, I had some current cash and then Connie gave me some money, because it's my birthday tomorrow, and so she gave me some birthday money, and so, but yeah, I don't really spend.
they take the, you know, it's easy to take the grandkids for like an hour or two, and then just, you know, so.
This is.
They're all gonna be,
Yeah.
okay, so comes out per grade.
Yeah.
But that was a fun little getaway.
Have you ever been to Ashland? We do that little break.
Have you been to?
Oh, yeah, time of year and,
Oh, really?
this party thing.
Yeah.
I was probably in high school.
We went, we did that again. I
Were
remember.
were they active? I feel like, I don't
There was,
remember. I bet it was.
there was buffalo,
Okay. We've gone to, the Mahoney State Park, which
You
isn't
could-
right next to it or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'd like to go to
We've been there a
the
lot for
ballparks,
like, we went
wherever I go.
cabin one time with the family,
Yeah, like
then some, they had ice
baseball
skating,
parks.
I ice skated there a couple times as a child, you know, it's a nice little park, just
It's just a nice
outside.
little. We
Yeah.
went to Nebraska Outlet Mall.
Yes.
Is there,
Is it the,
Do you guys have a
Nebraska
county
Crossing
administrator?
Road or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went there
like
to
a
Omaha,
clerk,
they're like
county
5
clerk?
minutes from
So
there.
just the
So every
commission,
time I
the
go,
clerk,
my mom's
and
like,
then the
"You ever
department.
been out?" I'm like, yeah.
and then the lawyer who's out right
So
now.
yeah,
They'll be
they're
back in
always,
a
every day
while.
I go to the Lego store.
So you don't have a
there.
county
Yeah,
administrator?
I'm
That's a
really
good,
open
that's a
to
good
it.
thing in my opinion, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning.
Okay,
Like,
where I'm from, Douglas County, we have a county administrator
how big is the
who
store?
basically is
On
the person
outside, was it
who
like a
runs the
ton
county,
of the
and
block,
the
or-
commissioners are more of
I mean, it was a good sized store,
I
but
wouldn't
for as
call
many
them a
people as
puppet
there were,
role, but
they said it was a 3-hour
they,
wait in line. and
they
only about
basically just do big boats, they
Okay.
don't get involved like these guys do,
That's interesting.
which I think this way's better.
Right,
It was
more
the
people.
only
Well, you
Lego
have
store
direct
in
involvement of the
Nebraska.
3 people that are making decisions instead of that layer between them of the administrative position, kind of like a city manager, same thing. Yeah. This seems to work better.
They were building, they had set up outside for the kids to
What's the last time?
build, they were having to build like a square, and then they put it on this thing, so I don't know what it was gonna do at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah,
3 hours in line
3 hours to wait,
just to go.
and it was almost 100 degrees.
No thanks, but no, and that is a really nice, and I think that's, growing up, that used to be really kind of a dumpy outlet area, but they really revamped it. Yeah, it like I said, it's like 5 minutes from my parents, and my mom wants to shop. So my mom was like, yeah, like, every time I go up there, it seems like every other time we're always hitting them up, 'cause it's like, it's right there.
Really nice, and they had good
Yes,
prices.
I know, so it's a good little shopping center and things like that.
I came home with pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
We couldn't pass them up, they were 7 pair of shoes, and they're like $160, and they went on sale for $59.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, get you a couple
I
pair.
love an outlet mall. Yeah, we have a Yeti store that's newer, we
Yeah,
bought,
we went
I
through
got
that.
some like Christmas presents there, last
That's
time,
Brooks.
but yeah.
They had Merrill and
Really?
H&M, Puma.
Oh, I know, they have all of them, they have a big old Navy, they have, yeah, so, they have some home stores like right next to it or whatever, yeah.
I had Oshkosh, Oshkosh, and.
Oh,
Smith.
yeah, but you just, yeah, was there. Yeah, no, outlet malls are fun, but no, I know exactly what you're talking about, cause that's where my parents live.
It was fun.
And my mom likes to shop, and nobody likes to shop with her, so I'll do it, I'll spend your money.
Yeah.
Todd, did
It's
you
different,
have,
it's not your money.
did you have the employee handbook stuff done?
No, I didn't.
Okay, they're having a meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
Is that something that, yet today you could get to? But-
Yeah, there's
Did you
things
have,
last week, and then there's a meeting, right,
they're having an employee they're having an employee meeting out there tomorrow. So there was 2 issues. One was, because it's an internal meeting, it's not open to the public. The recording in it, but the employee handbook, I think they want to go through those, issues there.
I think it was, what I was thinking of was the CDL requirement, hands-free headset.
The CDL requirement,
Yeah.
yeah, the hands-free set, that's a pretty basic one. I mean, that's federal law. If you have CDL, you're in CDL required be if we
Well,
have
I'm just
that.
trying to, is it, we just need the meeting thing, is that the push?
The different changes that were in the handbook, and yeah, that, whatever you had notes from last week.
Okay. It just depends on, probably, when we get done here today, I can get back and write them up real quick and do
Okay.
a little resolution passing.
Okay. Let me,
You know,
double check here. All right, since everybody's back, Aric Davis from Raw Valley, has requested his, $15,000 appropriation. We usually give an appropriations for the JCCTCC.
Yes.
That group, which is a coalition of all the schools. So I would entertain a motion.
He's, administrator this year?
Correct.
Okay. So 15,000?
That's correct.
I'll make a motion that we, approve the appropriation to Jackson County Coalition. Jackson.
It's a long one.
Okay.
JCCTCC.
There you go, thank you.
Thank you.
In the amount of $15,000.
Usually they come up. You said second?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear you. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Typically, they come up here, they will, when they'll come up with the coalition, the whole group, and they'll do a presentation. But, okay, thank you. Hey, Aaron, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Morning, Aaron.
Hi.
That's our early.
Kristen, you have a whole bunch of pads upstairs, I hope? No pads? Okay.
And Mark, I'll give you a few minutes, those are all just, the yellow one should be from Brooks' office, and then the other one should be from the sheriff's department. Give you a minute to figure out that.
Yeah, I apologize for having to leave. It was a hard order that, committee.
I thought that was your phone. It is.
That would be a quick, night right mode.
There.
Here, drill a hole in the foundation to put rebar in because all this concrete has to be replaced out here.
Perfect.
Caving away.
Is
What,
this,
can we look and see what we've done for them for the silver hair? Is that what we've done in the past? Okay, and that comes out of the commissioners or?
That's one of the appropriations.
yes.
Correct.
I saw that. Was it, that was 2,500 no, I think it's like 250. Okay. I just saw that.
I used to pay.
Just so everybody knows, Alan, just so everybody knows, the work is gonna get over here where the work is gonna get done over here where the pad was kind of sinking.
Right outside the front door.
Just right out front door, and I got a call from Pat on Wednesday afternoon, he said, can you come up and look at something? I came up and, Keith was out of town and Dan was out of town, so I looked at it and it was all worked out completely back up underneath there, so, before that, to say, look at the rest of it,
Yeah, the whole thing.
go ahead and, maybe find the
right last year, has it been worked on and?
I think that, I think that's been, in 20 years since we did it, but it's just been this summer, so.
Alright.
Thank you.
Fine.
All right, Todd, you got a loud voice?
I don't know, I don't know if they're allowed enough for us, but yeah. Well, we talked about, we're gonna get back with you guys on the changes to the personnel manual.
Right.
So that'll be coming this afternoon. Scotty contacted me about easements for bridge. Pretty much got that.
You got the,
You got me the legal.
Thanks.
I don't know who the owners are, but I need to, so I'm gonna show the resolution with that, so we'll have that. Obviously still working on the solar guys, and saw the question last time. Obviously there's some questions, but we'll circle around probably next time, perhaps, to talk in more detail about those important specific issues. Looks like you were having a GIS in the,
GPS.
GPS in the car thing?
yeah.
Okay. I still think I'll need, for that open records request, I'll need to get the, whatever they're getting from these guys as far as.
Yeah, it was just,
Go ahead.
no,
Well, I was gonna say, this was just for the John Deere equipment that we already have, that's already on there. We still have not made any decisions to purchase anything, gone out, that's all. So, I mean, we don't even know that we're gonna do it. All this work is in the truck. We're just testing it right now. So, yeah, so we should be good on that open record request, because there's nothing that we've done.
Thank you for doing what you guys have in the hot list.
you have information you need to get on, any board member that we've appointed, in the process of, removing that board member. So you were gonna get information in regards to any board member that we put on any board that's a voluntary board, but we appoint to those boards, whether it's, whatever board that we have the authority to do that, the removal policy on that.
Okay. Yeah, I still have to do that research, so I'll put that. This is the best meeting I've had yet.
Okay.
Yeah, look that way, we don't have
Just
that.
have a mini recess, kind of casual.
What's that?
Casual time until we're done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably
I
true.
think, yeah, that's what I'm
I think that's probably true.
Have you heard any more from the Birmingham folks? Have they sent any more documents? I think we sent the last of the documents out, correct?
I think so,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
To satisfy them? Good license.
Thank you.
License to kill?
After
License
days
for
like this.
liquor. I don't remember us signing off on that before, do you? Holton Recorder? Not recently. I don't recall. And it's a 3-year license? Is that what it looks 24 to 26. I think they're good. You have the floor.
Thank you. Gentlemen, my name is Michael. I'm with Lawrence Accountability. I travel up from this county.
A little bit, I'm sorry,
It's okay. So my name is Michael. I'm with Lawrence Accountability. I drove up from Lawrence this morning. The reason I drove up is I wanted to address something that happened in this room last week. Recording has gotten out onto the internet, and I'd appreciate it if your attorney would pay attention for a moment here because this does involve him. Last week it came to our attention that a man named Hoffman, Mr. Hoffman, was in this room attempting to speak during a comment period. And during that period,
It wasn't a comment.
okay, I'd like to finish.
State it correctly if you're going to state something, or leave it general, because I'm not gonna allow you to misrepresent what happened when I was president of these gentlemen, okay? Go ahead. The people had passed, that were commenting, that passed to be on the agenda.
There were 3 individuals that were on the agenda, but go ahead.
Okay. In any case, you opened a public comment period where people were.
It wasn't a public comment.
Okay. You're a frustrating individual, I'll just say that right now.
Well,
Okay.
yeah,
No,
it gives them a way of.
how about you let me talk and just be quiet for a minute? Okay, in any
Can
case.
we be polite in here, or I'll have to
Okay,
remove?
you said me a moment ago that I had the floor, and this
You
man's
do.
been continually interrupting me.
But be polite.
You need to
Okay,
state
I
things
wanna ask
correctly,
him,
sir.
I wanna ask him to not interrupt me any further.
And I want to ask you to please state things correctly if you're going to state them.
Okay, you had an individual in here that was attempting to give a public comment. I don't care about the period that you had open, I don't care about what was going on. Okay? But in any case, you, sir, Keith, and you, the attorney, Mr., what's your name again? Luckman, decided that since he had mailed some legal paperwork to you, that he no longer had the right to speak in this room. That was what was heard on the audio. So regardless of what kind of public period you had open, the argument that you made at that point in time was that he had to converse with you through his attorney. I'm here to tell you today that that is improper. Your attorney is wrong by saying that. You guys are wrong by saying that. An individual can sue this county, can hire an attorney and sue the pants out of this county, and he can still come in and make public comments. He still has that right. Whether he did not get on the agenda or whatever, that wasn't the argument that you made. The argument that both of you made last week was that because he had hired an attorney and had started processes somehow, I'm not even aware of what the processes are completely. All I know is that you guys said because he hired an attorney that he had to talk to you guys through his attorney, talk to his elected representatives through his attorney. That is improper. That's all.
Whose opinion, sir?
In the opinion of the United States Constitution.
Yep.
In the opinion of the United States Constitution. You can't tell a man that he can't come in and speak during public. So if he comes in and signs up on that list, is he going to be allowed to speak, or does he have to speak to you through his attorney?
I'll take it because you're laboring under.
Answer that if you would,
I'm
please.
gladly, for you and the folks who will be viewing this to understand that the Kansas Open Meetings Act only requires that the meeting be open. It doesn't allow the public to comment. This body can, if it desires, allow public comment extensively, disallow it, or whatever in between. There are time, place, and manner restrictions on any speech. Okay,
This
see?
time.
We allowed them because they asked to be on the agenda, and they did not have any type of extracurricular legal implications to what they were saying, because they hadn't engaged in the same things that Mr. Hoffman did. And Mr. Hoffman himself said, I believe in a post, that it was a cease and desist letter. Whether or not that's the case, we're not going to go into the details of what is discussed between attorneys or the correspondence. We consider the matter resolved in the sense that there was an open records matter that was addressed by the AG, and we have results from that.
Okay.
Now, if Mr. Hoffman believes that there is something extra that needs to be addressed, that's fine. But let's go back to the main point being, is that there's no constitutional right under the First Amendment to speak at an open meeting.
May I retort?
Huh?
May I retort?
No, you may not retort.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that as an absolute because that is, the statute does not say you have a right to speak at an open meeting. There are rights to time, place, and manner restrictions. Like I said, this is constitutional law 101 in law schools all around about the First Amendment, that you can't just speak anywhere you want to, that this body, and we're conducting a
Is the attorney not
business.
aware that if you open a comment period, you can't allow one and not the other? You can't
They
be
want
specific.
And I've already told you.
I'm getting a lecture now, sir. I'm not interested in a lecture. Okay, I'm not interested in a lecture from the attorney.
And
I
neither
asked
are
a
these guys
straightforward
interested
question.
in a
If
lecture.
Mr. Hoffman comes in here and asks to be put on the agenda, will he be allowed to speak, or is he going to be required to communicate with this board through his attorney? Question. Easy answer.
The easy answer is that if there is an issue that the public comment is becoming disruptive, or problematic, or causes difficulty for this body to do the work that it's supposed to be doing.
My question was not about disruptions. My question was, if Mr. Hoffman comes in and puts his name on that agenda to be able to speak to this board, is he going to be allowed to address his elected representatives, or are you going to try to force him to go through his attorney?
I'm saying that anybody who comes before this body and presents themselves for the agenda can be denied a spot on the agenda.
Sir, I'm asking you.
I'm not, and that's not my answer.
I'm asking you.
That's the answer.
So you're saying that he can maybe be allowed, maybe not be allowed. They have the discretion to allow or not allow.
Absolutely. You saw here today what these guys have to do. There's a lot of business that has to get done here, but frankly, this is a waste of time.
Frankly,
Wasting the taxpayer, Douglas County representative, you are wasting the taxpayers of Jackson County's money for me and for these guys to address your completely vaporous.
I would challenge that I might have already been gone had you not decided to interrupt me and elaborate in this legal manner the way you have, and not answer the question.
We're done.
We're on.
Have a good day.
You too. See you on the web, chief.
I'm sure you will.
You slammed that gavel good.
Have a great day.
Now I see why I got a phone call about this place.
Okay.
Moving ahead.
Kidding.
Sometimes you gotta get down on pig a little bit.
Yeah, I know, she's reporting to you, that's fine and dandy, I mean, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's move on. So, there is that sign seal.
How was your, trip?
Tried to bring a pinball home.
So Todd, yeah, just real quickly, do you have, some thoughts on, I know you have researched the removal of the boards, but I've had several people ask that
I'm
question.
doing that right now.
Oh, I'm sorry,
I didn't look this up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll give you some, I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
We'll
I
wait
think
to
this
do
is-
the minutes.
Yeah, I think this is not too tough of a thing.
All right, if you would take a look at your minutes, and we'll, if you're caught up over there, I apologize. Todd, I didn't realize you were digging into it.
Oh, here we go, September 16th.
Yeah. It was underneath this.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, second. Okay, the statute I'm looking at is 1929-57. That's the zoning boards appointing basically the structure of the board. This is planning commission, county planning commission, resort, zoning boards of appeal. 1984 statute. Basically, it states that they're appointed for a term, and it does not designate at any point that they can be removed for any purpose necessarily. It says they're appointed for a term, and they serve in that until their successors are appointed and qualified. So that does not give any direct authority that I see as the removal of an appointed officer except upon the expiration of the term.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and the issue may be,
violation of the laws and everything, so that's not a,
well, here's where it gets interesting, because it doesn't say, the method doesn't mean there isn't. It just says the statute it just has a blanket or questions. Now, I defer, first of all, kind of the first level is whenever an elected official is acting contrary to the law, that the only way to remove an elected official is either through ouster or through recall. Right? So those are the traditional methods. And ouster was, recall is just petitioning the new election process, and ouster would be, you'd have to take it to the county attorney, and the county attorney would have to proceed with some kind of legal action that meets the standard of ouster. Whether or not this meets that definition is probably, beside the point that the person is not an elected official. So, arguably that high level, because that's what it's supposed to be. The ouster and removal of an elected official is supposed to be hard.
Okay.
Because people are voting and they elected the person in a fair election, and they should not have their judgment set aside easily.
Okay.
But there is no such right to persons who are appointed. So at this point, the answer is there is no direct authority for removal.
Okay.
I would have, and looking at the statute references, it has not been interpreted by the Attorney General or anything of the sort.
Okay.
So I would be going a lot deeper into it if there is a desire to act in that manner. So, meaning that there has to be, there would be case law. This is a 1984 statute, so it's, for us, understand that's not that old of a statute, right? Not a lot of history behind it. So, case law probably is not going to have much. So we're talking about going out of state case law, general authority saying what you can.
It's an attorney general's opinion, which is not law binding, it's just their opinion. I mean, that, well, we believe, or I believe it should be this, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's the law.
Yeah, and that's, but it also is a little bit better than nothing in the sense that,
well,
if they said you can do this way, you
sure,
kind of go, oh yeah, that's.
There should be, maybe there is a caveat. If someone breaks the law, goes away to jail, there ought to be a method of, and that's an extreme, please understand, in my statement of that, but there's got to be something in there that says, well, if a law is broken, this person.
And I think what we'll probably end up, I'll probably end up finding in that in-depth thing would be that there's another, a city board or or another part of the county, setup that says, yeah, you can remove them when you do this. It's just not under the zoning. Nobody's ever done it under the zoning provision.
Anything under, when we made a resolution to create a zoning board back in whatever day, if anything, would there be anything in there that would trump what you're talking about?
Well, I think if the it's hard for me to think that there's a resolution that can bind you in a manner that you could not change at your, legislatively. I mean, it's a legislative prerogative that they undertook, you can change it right now. So if it said something to the effect of, board, they shall appoint who shall serve at the discretion of the board, kind of idea that you're, you know, they're at your beck and call, not the legislature. Because there is some thought that probably the legislature, like did here, created a body that is a little bit more than, you know, you guys created a committee to, you know, for veterans.
Right.
Okay. That's a, you know, there's a tier to it, so we gotta be solicitous of that. And that's, so I think the answer, the preliminary answer is that there's no statutory basis for it right now. So, I'd have to, if you want me to try to find the methodology through comparisons, that is gonna be a weaker argument essentially. That can be, and I may find that there's nothing and it's bad news, so, but that's the next step.
Okay.
I'd like you to go on and research it myself.
You would?
Yep. Yes.
Dave?
I'm kind of torn on both sides. I don't really know if it's worth spending the time and money for, because ultimately the Board of County Commissioners has the final say.
And I'm almost tempted to say just, let's do it and let them prove it's wrong. Because, like I say, the egregious manner that this happened and the, you know, I'm more worried about the county getting in trouble for this than the gentleman that was just in here that was gonna sue our pants on. I believe that this is more of a egregious situation than that, for what he did. Yes or no? I mean, do you disagree with that, or?
Well, I don't disagree with the idea that it's a serious matter. I mean, and more serious than a prior one. I don't blame the bid for having that in mind.
I'm fine with you going ahead and doing a little bit more research, not a lot of time. I'd really like to put this to bed next Monday. I'd like to have some closure on it, and Mr. Willett would too. You know, part of me, you know, I don't have a problem with giving him a second chance to a certain extent, but there's just gotta be something in place if this kind of behavior continues. We can't have a board that has that kind of, yeah.
And I think if we get to the actual regulatory side of this, then maybe some of that will leaven these things, because let's start talking about the real aspects of governing this situation. You know, and the details of that, you gotta get everybody on, you know, not rowing in the same direction, but at least talking about something substantive rather than this other stuff. So I think I've got the idea here. I mean, I think my take on it would be, unless I have kind of a good path, you know, scored out by another setup here in the county that makes sense to compare it to, but you're not gonna wanna blaze a trail, you want something to back you up.
So, and so I got a question, what was the statute that you referred to?
KSA 1929-56.
I'm looking at something right here, 1603, cities of the third class, but, I mean, you saw that also?
I didn't see that, but
Is
it's
that
not
not?
strictly applicable to counties.
That is applicable to counties?
It's not.
It is not.
It's not, but yeah, it would be, if there's case law that was enforcing something in the third class city or any city context, that would probably be the equivalent, because if the overarching regulations or the statutes for this process that we're in is 12,577 or whatever it is in that area. So it is, if there is a third class city and that has case law that says, you know, this is how you remove somebody, then that would be the comparison. If the statute says they shall be removed by X, Y, Z, or the vote of the council or whatever, that's not a good answer. Because then the judge says, well, the legislature knows how to put that in, but they want you to have the power to remove it. And they didn't here. So,
Okay.
what do we take from that? That they meant it, that you shouldn't be able to. So, that's how that interpretation works, and we now go into great detail.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Did you have business, or are you on the agenda?
I'm not on the agenda,
Okay.
but I was gonna ask if there was any talk today about any of the solar,
Get to say that again.
any discussion on the
Solar regulations?
Yeah, I think we're getting to a point where we're about to release a draft. When I say we, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm working on it, so hopefully we'll have something coming up pretty soon, because I know that these guys said informally they wanted something by now, so and they've been gracious enough to give me a little bit more leeway here, but it's gonna be coming.
And will that be during the Todd Luckman portion? Are you Todd Luckman?
I am Todd Luckman.
Okay.
As seen on YouTube.
Do you have access to our website then?
Yes, I
Okay.
see the agenda. How do I
Okay.
request the meeting minutes?
I can go,
Okay.
give you my email.
Perfect, thank you.
You're in Manhattan?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have been here a little sooner. I did not realize there was going to be a road closure on Omega Road. I had to turn completely around. Thank you so much. How's everybody's day going? Your haircut looks nice. Your haircut looks nice.
I still didn't hear what you said.
Oh, how was your day going?
Oh, it's been
Great.
fun.
It's educational.
Yeah.
We've been taught a lot today.
Yeah.
I see on YouTube.
Okay, I don't know if I had anything else. You guys want me to go back and get those regs then?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Get the, get the personnel manual
Yeah.
sorted out.
Yeah, so that they can have that. I think they'd like to be able to discuss that with their employees tomorrow.
Okay.
And again, one of those will be the right to report in open or in a department head meeting.
Still anything?
All right. What company are you with?
Halo, Portland area landowners.
Okay.
It's a advocacy company for landowners, obviously.
Okay.
Mainly for their property rights and what they can do with the land that they own. We don't work for any specific company, but more often than not, lately it's been with NextEra, because they've had the most solar wind developments throughout the state.
So I can just, let you know, just need to be good with that rough. And I'm just gonna do like a resolution. And then
Okay.
I get that to you and you guys can.
Yep, that would be great.
All right, well, watch this space.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you guys putting up with my schedule. It was something we set long ago. And I had, thankfully, it actually was less than what it had to be.
Yeah.
So I could get a 15-minute phone call rather than a real pre-trial.
It's always fun to see TV star.
We try to be flexible.
Well, I mean, you guys are the movie stars.
Yeah. Let's see, paragraph 2 on the second page, is it unfun spray?
Yeah.
Unfun, okay.
Well, no fun.
No fun. No fun.
See you, Todd.
Whatever.
Hi, guys. Take
See you,
care.
thank you.
Okay.
Probably take my lead too if there's no. Sorry for just popping in for a minute.
Have a good day.
See you later.
Yeah.
Also, that looks really nice. What are you working on?
Yes, with K-Cam.
Yeah.
I did. Does anybody wanna sit in on
Yeah,
that?
I would like that.
Okay.
When is it? Thursday?
Thursday morning at 9 a.m.
I'm gonna be, I have an appointment at 9.
I'm open on Thursday.
Well, sounds like. Dan,
Are you
sit in.
available?
It
Yeah,
will
I'll
be,
sit in too, I mean, that way, I'd like to hear, because I've never been involved in anything like this.
it
so.
won't be for comment, just for
Yeah,
listening.
Yeah.
listening.
Litigation,
Okay.
and that'll be a closed meeting. Unless it zooms me individually. Is that what you were thinking? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do it at home.
Okay, I'll do that. I took my computer home for a Zoom the other night, so.
On the third page, okay, no, you're good.
Jeez. I got all this stuff. You did all this stuff. It didn't seem like it. Oh, yeah.
Okay, third page down, were there, commissioners concerning solar, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixth sentence. Rowdy asked if there would be a special meeting.
Rowdy wasn't here.
That was, I was gonna say, Rowdy wasn't here, was he?
Then who was that? I'm confused with somebody then.
It was the gentleman who was
We
sitting
had a hat
Mike?
on. It
Mike?
looked like
Oh.
Rowdy.
next to Don Breeze.
I don't know.
From down over that way,
I don't know who his name was.
He's
but
been here before.
If you're thinking, do you have,
I got my list upstairs.
okay.
yeah, he's been here before, and I think he sat in on a couple of the meetings.
You're thinking it was Rowdy Meyer, it was not.
Yeah, it wasn't. That's, we need to look at that. Hey, Kate, how are you?
It's Monday.
Yes, it is.
I am Gabe at the office.
And I apologize, I saw your email. I didn't take my computer with me, I was in DC all week, and so I just left it on the same line.
Run, you know.
Yeah, but I did have a conversation with, the individual who wrote it, face to face.
Okay.
Went and sat down with him.
Good.
Yeah, he appreciated me coming to talk to him.
Nice.
It's your
So
regular
I did that
meeting.
yesterday. I believe I sufficiently answered several of his questions and concerns. The thing that surprises me the most is how people who have lived here all my life, third generation in this county, believe rumor and speculation. I don't fathom that.
It's good that you talked to him, so hopefully
Yeah,
he's
and yeah, I just encouraged him to continue on. He didn't stay one way or the other, so we'll see.
So he emailed me back with a no.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was for.
Wasn't sure either, and I wasn't gonna ask.
Yeah. I thought it was a good, we appreciate him sending it over to our ratings. I appreciate him coming down. Listen, just be patient. Don't make a judgment until you get things in front of you. And then take the call. There's gotta be, I've said this before, anybody on that board with me, they need to be in line. And their actions need to prove that.
We have personal feelings and things not to bring up at all in public.
So, all right. What have we got before us?
That's gonna be the October 10th meetings. So, that's just what that is.
So then we'll sell some property,
Yes.
and then you'll run the, wind resolution down through on that meeting.
That'll be the, yeah, 7
Isn't there only a certain area that they can go back though? I mean, if this is, say it's on top of a hill, and the road's, the highway's here, they can only go back here. This person, can they put whatever they want to on the hill that's right there? I mean, isn't there just a restricted area that KDOT can control? That would be my question. And it
I
exceed,
don't
and
know.
it exceed.
control their right of way when it's
Sure.
on public
Yeah,
property.
I wonder about that.
Well, all of
Yes.
it's on public property. I mean, we have a zoning. So my issue,
private property,
or
that's what
the
it
county's issue would be that if it's not zoned for it, that's what
Yes.
we care about. So if it's not zoned for a certain size sign, then that would be our issue.
Is that property that we were talking about is?
Yes. So if a new billboard size sign goes up on that, then that will be an issue that we have to address.
Same with radio, TV towers and things, communication towers, same thing. That'd be the same scenario, even though it's way off.
So
Way
zoning
off.
special
It would be,
use
yeah. I see what you mean.
issue.
Yeah. Because you can put
So it's the
a
use.
cell tower, 2 miles off the highway, that way beyond KDOT. It comes to your office for approval, for visitor. Okay. I see. Using it in that frame of mind. I think we're on to something. What? Cell towers. Okay.
Any other questions or concerns before I leave?
I don't think so. You got an advertisement in the paper?
Yep. Cause, we've got somebody's term expiring on the appeals board. She wanted to do another application to extend. Probably this next October meeting, she'll hopefully have that into me.
You were going to look into, since you said application for that, were you going to talk to, someone on the appeals board to see if they want to step up to the,
Yeah, the
and
same.
did they or not, or?
The same person.
Okay.
I'll just have to see how she's wanting to do that. I mean, I put it out there.
Okay.
And we'll see. We're in the process of getting the meeting started, so we can have a long
Okay.
conversation.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Camper, one last question, I see in the notes here. The person's living in their camper. Is that close to being resolved, or is that?
Which one?
One out there on Spring Road,
Yeah, 222.
where they pushed the house in, burned it, and,
It's out the ballpark.
yeah. South and east.
Yeah. I think that's the old sign, but I don't know.
So I sent a letter out after talking to you guys last week, because I didn't have a phone number, so I sent a letter out to them on that one. No, I've got a stack of them.
And I thought we'd agreed to give them a,
60 days, something.
60 day or
They
90
were-
day or something.
Yeah, because they were gonna move, they ended up tearing the house completely down. And
Yeah.
They're gonna sell the property and move.
So,
Bill
Granted,
somewhere else.
60 day grace period to get it cleaned up.
Yeah, 60 day.
Yep.
Okay, is that in there?
But not necessarily get it cleaned up, but to get moved.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a stack of those. So trying to remember which one's which now at this point is.
Yeah.
60 day grace period.
What are you reading?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, from
Yeah.
here. Okay. Like, what did I put in my stuff that has that? Yeah, okay. Okay, that was last week's.
Yeah, we have to approve the minutes.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
rather lengthy. I'm just curious, it came up. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that will be, an issue in the next week or two. That I'll address with you guys on, if you want me to do anything different than what I'm doing on campers. Cause it's,
Getting more and more. case, if there's a situation like the last one, we can work with the landowner. But if they're just camping permanently,
It's interesting that, my, my procedure is kind of, okay, somebody brings it to our attention, and we go out, take pictures, if it's obvious that they're looking at it, I mean, they could just be camping for a week or two, so we take pictures and we go back. I say, let's hang on to it for 30 days and see if they're still there, if it looks the same as it does or worse. Because, I mean, this is kind of the season where people are utilizing their campers on that property.
Yeah, I mean, we're walking a very fine line here, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because there's a lot of people that close up their house during the summer and go live in the camper because it's cheaper to heat and cool. And so, you know, I mean, like I said, we're walking a very fine line there as far as what they're doing, because just like this place down south, they pull their camper in there, you know, same what they're doing down out the lake, Easy Lake we got here, and camping right by the lake, so.
no, I understand. I think the obvious ones are when there's no residents there.
Well, like I say, this one down here, they move in a porta potty for the summer. So, you know, you just gotta kind of take each case on its merit, I believe, in my opinion.
There's a one up north that letters have been sent out to the owner, but the owner doesn't respond back to you. And that's been a long period of time. I know that's been turned in, but the owner does not respond.
If you're talking about the one just north of town,
Yes.
they did respond back
I didn't think he did.
through Lee.
Oh,
And
And
it's
he's providing security.
that's
yeah.
right.
Bingo.
But living in the camp.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
So you guys, on the same page with me about we go out and see and then wait and see a little bit before I send?
I am, because like I say, right now, it's, if you wanna pull your camper out of your pasture, and live there all summer, what are we gonna say about that? You can't really say anything about that, can you? I don't see how we can.
Now it's like a tent, if somebody wants to go tent camp on that property, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
I think we're good. I think we're good. I like what you're doing, you know, somebody reports it, go out, take pictures, wait 30 days, go out, see what's going on. They might move the camper from one side to the other, who knows? Yeah, I like what you're doing great.
Okay. I will continue.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I have another one, or, page. You want me to just jot it down? Give you-
Yes, please.
Okay, will do. Will do. Page 1, 2.
What's your,
Where we talked about the previous commissioners that first page, most of the first page is one paragraph, where payment from NextEra or restoration of the haul routes when they put in the poles, windmills.
no, when they put in the poles here,
Electric lines.
the electric line, the
Oh,
transmission
the
line.
transmission line.
Yes.
Okay. Transmission line.
Yeah.
All right.
So, you know, would be putting up the poles
Okay.
for the transmission.
I was
Yeah.
thinking, yeah, that's the transmission. I go, okay. Excellent, never mind. Looks good. Are you gonna resend out the Zoom information and the link and everything?
Well, she'll have to send it to you.
She is in the insurance company? Okay, so what do I do, just,
Click on the link.
okay,
And make sure you're on mute.
mute? Yeah. Thanks. I will be.
I've done that before.
I'm sorry?
I've done that before. I had a full-fledged conversation and they're like, you're not muted. Sorry.
I found out I muted myself the other day and I went to vote on issues and
Should that be
oh, I'm on mute.
Chairman Kelly or Chairman Keith?
Yeah,
5 days worth. Shoot, I missed.
Be here before we know it.
I can't wait.
Me either.
Well, I can still do some preliminary knocking, and I have knock on doors.
What about that next weekend?
Probably.
I'm seriously thinking about it.
We went to, 426 County, I think is what it was called over.
Yeah.
It was okay. They had a caramel apple sangria that was really good.
Oh, really?
But then we told them to throw the twins cup to go. I'm like, I can't transport them from Kansas. Not happening.
Yeah.
Your daughter's pictures in the Facebook and engagement ring and everything.
Yep, we'll have a wedding next year.
What does she do? She's a nurse?
She'll be an RN. She
RN.
graduates in December.
Is she's been working up here though?
She works at ER at Saints.
Oh.
And then she's taken a job with Stormont for post-op.
No blame her.
She wants the ER. She wants to do trauma.
Does she want to live here in this community?
No, they live in Topeka.
Oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Because we're looking for nurses, all the time.
About the trauma first.
That's, here you go.
She is the last one I ever thought would want to have anything to do with gore and guts and blood.
Yeah. But you know, some of these farm girls probably get out there and clean their chute, learn how to do that. So, I mean, the person's different for that now, but man, I'll tell you what, a deer, that's,
Oh, yeah.
I've not done deer. When I was a kid, you know, Dad taught me how to hunt when I was young.
They
Got
don't
a lot of
like the
rabbits.
smell.
Yeah, rabbits and, well, they were cats. Rabbits and birds over the years. I never did kill a deer, you know.
I do my best at the car.
Yeah, or horses.
Yeah.
Horse to go. What do they do with that after? I presume they're all
With
dead.
them?
Yeah. The dead
No
wagon.
idea. They were hauling them off the highway and with skid loaders and tractors
Wow.
that night.
I noticed that the person that owned it was identified in the
Yep.
paper too. So, does your insurance go with their insurance? Is that how that works? Okay.
I just turned it over to them, said, you
Yeah.
pay me off, do
Yeah.
whatever you need to do.
Very good.
But now I'm fighting with them too, because they won't give me enough money. They're lowballing me. I was like, no.
In a wreck?
Yeah. Well, it's the fact that they're saying that the bale bed is a special flat bed, you know.
It ruined the whole, everything? The cab?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, it ruined the bed?
Oh,
no, it didn't ruin the bed, but they hauled everything off.
Oh,
And they're just gonna pay me for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm even telling them I'll take less than what I think it's worth. What I know it's worth.
See, we've
So
got.
the bed's only 4 years old. They didn't even have paint wore off.
Yeah. What we'll see is something happens, or someone loses their diamond ring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The insurance companies will go in and say, okay, we'll give you Keystone plus a fifth. Even though it may be insured for here, they don't pay directly to the client, so they go in and negotiate the
Oh, well, sure,
price.
but this here, it's like, they're lowballing me so far, it's not even the, fair market value for the truck. Not to mention the bed. And they're lowballing me for the welder and the air compressor too, so.
Now, I don't have to accept it. Sorry, I don't do this, but
Nope.
generally, it's not what the client thinks. Of course, I don't know what they pay in insurance
Yeah.
and how they do it, but it's not,
Well, let's
they'll
put
go
it this
in
way,
and
I
negotiate.
found one that was comparable, that I finally found one that was a 1-ton, prefab with a,
little. I went with, about 3-4 years ago, 4 years ago. So that's nice. Of course, Grandpa went along and paid for it. You know, interesting, of course. I'm glad Grandpa went along with him to help Mom and Dad.
Yes.
Hi, Judge.
Hello.
How you doing in here?
What?
Kind of quiet in here.
Reading. Can't hear because of these pipes. What's the word? You're done early?
Yeah, I'm going to Walmart. I gotta refill my water bill.
Do what?
Refill my water bill. If you bring your own jug in, you refill it. It's only like $2.30.
There's a bunch of water in the break room.
Oh, well, I can't steal it from this county. But if you bring a bottle in and you pull one out, it's like $7 or $8.
Yeah. Take your own.
I take my own. Went on Amazon, got my replaceable bottle caps.
Did you guys get together yesterday?
I don't think so. But the Chiefs game didn't start till like 9:30. Where'd they play?
Atlanta. Yeah, you're confused with K-State game. K-State started 9:30.
No, the Chiefs started
7:20.
at 9:30.
7:20.
The Chiefs started at 9:30 last night too.
Yeah, it was late.
That late? It was
But
late.
if they were playing Atlanta, that means they were playing at 10:30 in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Ain't no reason for anybody to be up that late on a Sunday. Just none whatsoever.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But they still won.
Salvaged our weekend after K-State got blown out.
Oh well.
Crazy. Washburn lost.
I don't follow college at all.
No. Not Virginia? Jimmy? Is it Benjamin? Benjamin? How do you pronounce it?
Bemidji State.
Bemidji.
Home of the Fighting Beavers.
Okay.
I'll let you open the door out here.
What's that?
The door? We're doing concrete. It was in bad shape. Washed out or undermined underneath the septic. So,
Like big time.
Up
The only thing to hold the pad up was the rebar into the wall of the building.
that's funny, but it's not funny.
It's been there since what, the 1920s?
No, Chuck said that he remembers, he didn't replace it, but he remembers when it was replaced back in the 60s. So, it's due.
You know, it just depends, like the building I live in, built in 1888. Still there.
Yep.
They didn't have a lot of good engineering, so they overbuilt everything.
There you go. It's the only way to do it.
I mean, my old military rifles from the 1890s function just like the day they were made. The new guns, not so much.
Yeah. Like job.
Oh well, off to Walmart.
Catch you later, have a good day.
I'm gonna try.
See you later.
Okay.
And we received confirmation from the attorney's office that they have received confirmation about the contract. Okay. Nothing yet.
Not that I've seen, but
Okay.
whenever I was gone last week.
Well, maybe they have it up there.
I know they're working on it.
Good. 30 days is all we need. Is that what you believe? Well, you know what? Yeah, those guys, when I had that county van, I was going up north of Hiawatha, blew out a tire. Two of them came out, one of them lives in Wetmore. I mean, boom, Sharon called them, they were there. One of them was on his way home. And,
What'd they do?
replaced the tire on the van. That's when I blew out the tire.
You didn't have one? A spare?
Yeah, I wouldn't change it.
Oh.
You kidding? I'd screw it up and I'd be in trouble.
Okay,
Yes.
here's my issue with the bridge.
Yep.
I understand that we have all this road, but it also costs that money to put a shop.
Okay.
So, this is where we're sitting right now. 29,000 for road agent repairing maybe in the road bridge. That's
Overall.
overall, that's everything, that's nothing. So, I'm funding this through this account. Once this is gone, it's gone, it's not replenishing.
Right.
So my thing is, we don't have to hire, or we don't have to buy. I mean, if you can get by without it for the next few months,
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. I understand you.
Then there's gonna be the, road grader with 5
Well, yeah,
Correct,
until
but
next year.
still, I mean, this is what we're averaging. He's averaged about 30,000, that was probably the 15th, so I'm gonna say. He said it's gonna be 40 to 50,000 a month, just for his bills. And that's what he's gonna be here for the rest of the year.
Sure. This is,
That's without adding another employee or anything that we don't have to add.
what other we call this? Measures?
No, this is risk management.
Oh, okay.
This is the one you have the 1.5,
Yeah,
the second,
yeah.
and this is where you're at now, 788,000.
Yeah.
So I've just been transferring it every month. to
Well, that's
keep
what
him-
it's set up for anyway.
To keep him on the road.
Yeah. But,
But I want you to understand, once this is gone, it's gone, you got nothing.
Okay, but let's clarify. You're only talking about certain items. Rock is not one of them. Because in sales tax, there's 543,000.
Correct.
Okay.
This is only road bridge fund, but this is what.
Right, but
payroll
so
and everything
I
is.
think that's part of the problem, or, problem. People don't understand when you say, what's on the road and bridge? Road and bridge encompasses, to me, encompasses everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I know,
And so
we're all
that-
different, right.
Right, so when we're saying, okay, let's define road and bridge as what items or what funds within road and bridge, it does not encompass their 4%
It's
sales
not
tax.
your 4% sales tax.
Or,
Or your 240.
which is,
Is outlaid. If you have it. Isn't it? Special equipment?
none of
Did
that.
you
none of
get
that-
a chance to run those reports that we talked about? Okay.
machinery outlet.
But none of this is rock
No,
or
this is-
equipment.
this
This is just like gas and stuff like that, expenditures, correct?
Well, look through here, it'll show you what he does.
Okay.
It's got different line items.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
That
This-
helps?
Yeah.
It does not include this fund, which is the, road and bridge machinery outlet, which is their savings account.
Okay.
And it does not include the 451, which is this account, which is the 4% sales.
Oh,
tax.
yeah, that's.
They still have 543,000 through the end of the year, but they'll also get sales tax in the 10th month, and the 11th month, and the 12th month. The
And he
idea.
also has an outlet fund out there that if you had to, you could get into for rock.
Separate rock fund.
Another rock.
Okay, yeah,
You guys move money into that.
last year.
770,000.
Okay.
And so, even though that's there, it can't be used for this.
Why not? It's not,
I
like
can
the
ask-
04 or
I can
something.
ask about the outlay fund, you might be able to use it.
Yeah,
Let's
This
find
is
out.
designated as rock.
just replacing it. Is that not the way
I'm
you
not
see it?
disagreeing though, it's already
Okay.
effective, but within their payroll fund, which is within the road and bridge fund, it's already in the red.
Okay.
So you're having to cover whatever
I
you're
understand.
doing here.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not telling you what to do.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate what you're pointing out there.
I bet that's not restricted. You can do it
I
here.
think the outlay will probably.
Yeah, should be able to be.
I believe the outlay can move
Yeah.
to wherever you need it for. I think that's one thing that Scott was saying when he was doing this, is that even though you say that the outlay is for this, you can actually pull out of there and use it for other things in the department, you know, emergency funds, whatever.
And then